Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is July 12th, Thursday, July 12th, 2018, and welcome back to my live stream. We're going to write a little bit of code today. We're going to do a little bit of refactoring. We're going to talk a bit about unit testing as we get ready for big changes to our core wiki ASP.NET Core project. The chat room's quiet right now. It's eerily quiet. There's nobody over there talking. I don't know why. Chat room, are you actually there? Good morning. Hello, I can see people there. Hey, there we go. Good evening. There's Ashley. Hey there. All right. I'm wearing my Microsoft hat today because I've been doing some pretty cool things to get us ready for the fall and some exciting developments on the stream. So when we get into September, there's going to be some really cool things that we're going to do here on this stream and on a couple other streams here on Twitch. Staying in the background, Brave Cobra is. All right, no problem there. Let's start up some music to listen to here in the background. This was originally called Gold. I think it's still called Gold, but this is more music to code by from our friend Carl Franklin. It's music that's engineered to get us in the groove, get us focused on the task. And, hair. Yuck. And, I think it's kind of nice to have in the background while we're writing code here together. Hey, Will Bennett, good to see you. All right. Let's get over to GitHub. Take a look at what's out there. I haven't looked to see if there's any pull requests or anything. But let's see if there's anything out here that we need to review before we get into some of the refactoring that we're going to work on. The first one that we have here is inside Stream Tools, our top command from Nemanja. This is just about ready to merge. We're going to have to do a little bit of checking here, but I think this is about ready to merge, but it's not a priority for me right now. It doesn't fix anything. It's an enhancement. So I'm going to hold back on that just a little bit before merging this. I think I can do this on Saturday's show. And of course, tomorrow will be F# Friday, and we'll do some more cool F# programming then. The big reason for the refactoring that I want to look at today is because next week on Friday is going to be our architecture workshop. I've got a bunch of folks that are all set, all geared up for us to talk about software architecture here on the stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying to make sure that it's a full 8 hours. I'm locking down times later today, tomorrow. And I hope you join me next Friday. We're going to do, once again, big full day of writing code. Hey, Prof. Elements, good to see you. And McNerdius, absolutely, need that coffee. Coffee in the C# bot's a good thing. Thank you for the host, Node Botanist. I don't know why it didn't pop up with the hosting notification there. It's like Streamlabs is taking their good old time on my alert notifications. Right? Come on now. Come on now. Alright. Nothing's gonna show up. Fine, be that way. 8-hour workshop. That's about how long I try to make them. I gotta make sure I have enough folks and I've got enough content for the full day, but we are finishing up that content planning this week. Had some great conversations with Miguel Castro, Julie Lerman, and a couple other folks that'll join us, and we'll have a good time learning all about software architecture, application architecture here on the stream. There are 3 pull requests outstanding on CoreWiki. Let's take a look at these real quick. I like this. Over-engineered cleanup of startup. Well done, Ashley. I think you may actually be tiptoeing into some of the things that I want to get into here today. Update README recordings. You know what? Let's do these 3 pull requests, and then we can get into some of the refactoring. That's brutal to watch for 8 hours. Can you imagine what it's like to be on this side and producing it for 8 hours? If you look at the C# one that we produced and is out there on YouTube, I break it up into 1-hour segments, so there's very discrete topic areas. And if you want to tune in just for 1 hour about this topic, go ahead. And then, you want to catch the other ones later on demand, that's fine too. But we'll set it up so that they're very discrete chunks and topics that you can tune in for. And if you have questions for some of our pair programmers during that time, that's great. They're more than happy, and they're looking forward to interacting with you during that event. So I'm going to walk through these couple of these 3 pull requests, and then we'll get into doing a little bit of refactoring here. Alrighty, that's right, let's do it. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Update README recordings list. This looks like this is not too much change here. Twitch automatically deletes past broadcasts after a set amount of time. True. It's 30 to 60 days Twitch purges them, and leaves old links broken. I replaced all old Twitch VOD URLs, VOD, video on demand, with their equivalent YouTube counterparts. Awesome stuff. In addition, I've updated all the links in which Jeff is working on Core Wiki up to date with timestamps. Bonus. Let's just take a quick peek here. Yeah, these Twitch TV. I should have caught this. That's not going to work. But to come through and do all this replacement, wow, that's a lot of work here. Thank you so much, Daniel, for doing all that lookup. Thank you very much for doing the research and correction on these links. Much appreciated. All right, let's merge that in. Yep, that's fine. Finds magnifying glasses. I'm not. We don't need to get into this. I'm not really looking at code here yet. The second one here, this is where I think we're going to need to open up and start looking at some code. Refactored the migrations to the Core Wiki data project and other fixes. Now this is a little bit more of what we're running into, where we've been fighting these the database migrations that come with Entity Framework. Right, the migrations keep getting clobbered whenever we make a change to anything, because Entity Framework for SQLite doesn't properly update that database file. So it looks like Parathon and Ashley here collaborated a little bit to simplify the migrations. Issue 192, use static data to prevent migration confusion. Let's take a look at, and 193 is application DB context migrations broken. Yeah, not surprised. Temporary workaround migration issue by using static data for the homepage article until we decide on what to do. So this kind of feeds into another concept we have, the project that we should consider to make a startup wizard, very similar to WordPress. When you deploy a new version of WordPress, all it asks you for is a database connection, and it goes and deploys all the database tables when you first start the application. It asks you a couple questions about configuration options, and then deploys those. Oh, Coding Monkey, thank you so much for that subscription. I really appreciate that, and Bill and Steve dancing there, they're so happy. Of course, I'll match that subscription, and together we'll make a donation over to Girl Develop It. Thanks so much for hosting there, Lita Gemini, and I think I've got another hosting coming up here. There's one more there. I see it in the events list. There it is. Thank you so much, Visual Studio, for hosting. But Coding Monkey, thanks so much, and you get to now use the .NET bot emote here in the chat room or anywhere else on Twitch that you'd like. I really appreciate you sharing your Twitch Prime subscription with us. Twitch wants me to make sure that I let you know that if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can use that here on Twitch free to have to convert it into a Twitch Prime subscription. And of course, Twitch Prime means you can get rid of all the advertisements at the beginning of your favorite Twitch streams that you're watching. Not just my stream, but Dr. Disrespect and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Disguised Toast, whoever it is that you're watching, you can get Ninja, right? If you're watching Ninja play Fortnite, you can get rid of all those advertisements that appear in the middle of the videos, and you get one channel subscription for free. If you use it here on my channel, I'll match that and make a cool donation to Girl Develop It. Thanks so much. Oh, and you get emotes too, emote icons. All right. So looking through here. Let's see. Have any experience? I think the easiest way to do that for either person is to pull changes back from the other person's forked branch, change it, push it back to their own repo. Yeah, so you can actually collaborate a little bit here, back and forth. I do not know whether this is the correct way of doing things. Blah blah blah. I'll merge this in tonight. I'm not worried about the credit. Just want to help the project moving forward. Cool. All right. And then this one is the migrations are broken. As a workaround, I copied the migrations folder to CoreWiki data and ran it, and it works fine. You know what? This feels like a command that we should have sitting in our project. Am I streaming from the stables? No. That was yesterday. Okay, so let me take a look. What do we do here? Each time I tried to move the migrations to the other project, the file grouping nesting stopped working. When moving the folder, Visual Studio doesn't respect the nesting in the Solution Explorer, but that shouldn't affect the build ending. Well, actually, there is a way to enable that. File nesting is only available in core projects, which explains why the nesting isn't working when moving to another project. You can configure Visual Studio to it, and it'll actually write a file to disk that'll help with that. So let's take a look. I'll be interesting to see if Ashley Broughton gets recognition on the leaderboard for the work on this PR. Their work, yes. I've tried to be clear. I'm not sure if Ashley is a lady or a gentleman. So I'm trying to use gender neutral pronoun there with Ashley, and that's fine with me, you know. So you should be able to change the project file to nest. There's also settings. Yes, you can, but there's also settings inside of Visual Studio that you can set up that'll allow that nesting to occur as well. So we've got 14 files changed here. Let's take a quick peek. Turn off the white space. Okay, so we're forcing an author as a new GUID here. There's the author again. Now that's... Hang on. No, we forced it to GUID empty. And then GUID empty. So this is the migrations moving. Okay. More migrations moving and changing the GUIDs to GUID empty. Let's see here. The snapshot change. Changing briefly. I'm guessing this is for, yep, GUID empty. Can you turn off showing those annoying whitespace changes? Yes, Core Bob. Up here in diff settings, hide whitespace changes. There you go. Look at that. Learned something new today. Feeling good about that. So here, CoreWiki project. Target name, debug ensure node environment. Okay. If configuration equals debug and does not exist node modules, node version. Okay. Even continue on, if that is true, exit. Okay. Node.js is required to build and run this project. Okay. That's nice to have in there. Restoring dependencies using npm. This can take several minutes. And then here's the command. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing this pop out. Article history stuff. Yes. Okay, so this was one of the migrations. And it was yanked. Why was that yanked? Probably consolidated into another one if I had to guess. Startup, app context, scope.seed data. Service provider get service application DB context. Where is seed data coming from? It's an empty migration. Ah. Is that now native in GitHub? Yes. I have so many extensions installed, no idea where anything comes from. The GUID and date was changed each time the add migration command was run. Aha! That explains a little bit. Okay. But where is seed data coming from? Was that turned into an extension method somewhere? Let's take a look. Let's grab a copy of this. Look at it locally. Just to make sure we understand what's going on here. Look at that. My caps lock key just opens. That's so nice. Core wiki dev. Cool. Let's make sure I have the latest version locally before I go and start mucking around here. Alright, and go. Exec evil code. Oh, there's plenty of evil code where that came from. Alright. So here you can see the renames where we moved the migrations. Not we, but Parathon and Ashley moved the migrations from CoreWiki to the CoreWiki data project. Cool. And then removed that extra migration. Alright. Let's take a look at the project now. This one. Today's coffee is brought to you by Starbucks. Starbucks, because $6 for coffee is cheap. Okay. No? Good? Bad? Anyways. Does anybody work for Starbucks in the chat room? I do appreciate a good Starbucks coffee. The challenge for me is there isn't one near me. It's a decent drive to go get a nice cup of coffee, fancy cup of coffee. All right. So here's data and data IC migrations, and absolutely I can appreciate the designer CS nesting not appearing properly there. That's a little annoying. Data interfaces and repositories, that looks okay. My daughter is calling me. Let's see if she can... It's funny. Young people, kids, teenagers, they'd prefer to text you, but when you're busy is when they want to call you. Okay. I don't have a problem taking her call, but... don't you have coffee machines in the States? We do. But I did say good coffee, yes. Alright. Cool. A call must be important. Nope. Wasn't important. It was just trying to get my attention. Okay. So there was a seed data method here. Scope.seed data. Where is seed data? It's an extension method over here. I think I wrote this extension method the other day, right? Yeah, look at that. Me! Dad, I can see you on the internets. Yeah, that's right. Daddy's on the internets. Oh, and then did we put one over here? I didn't do... No, wait a sec. Hang on. Identity context scope.seed data. So, we're seeding the data twice here. That's not going to work. Dad's gaming time. No! That's in the evening. Okay, let's get rid of that. Because we'll want to seed the identity context data, which is already being done down here. And application DB context seed data. Well, this is what's going on here, so I don't need this line. And this, I'm going to move right there so that it makes a little bit more sense. And I don't need to get the application DB context anymore. Right, I can just say seed data, because I'm not passing it in anywhere. Secretly wants to play Overwatch professionally. No. No. Let me tell you. Okay. Huge fan of what Blizzard Entertainment's been able to do with their Overwatch League. They've got professional sports, real sports owners buying in and paying for esports, right? Paying for teenagers, early 20-something folks playing Overwatch professionally, and those players are amazing. Why I don't create a scope to seed data? You don't even dispose of the scope. Seems weird, but you might have your reasons. No, I created the scope here, so when you look in the right, I created the scope, seed the data. I'm within the scope. I return the scope if you want to do anything with it. I could dispose of that. So app context is actually a scope there. So I don't even need that. So I could say this. But why a scope? I need a scope because the entity framework context is registered as scoped. I can't pull it off as a transient object. So you need to be scoped in order to get that object. Which means now I need to move this in here. Right? So that I'm still within the same scope for those objects. But you're right, I wasn't disposing of it, and I probably should have. So now we'll handle that a little bit cleaner. That was a workaround I did last stream. Yeah, one seed for content and one for identity. Yeah, we're gonna need to move this around in a little bit. Cool. Alrighty. Just keeping an eye on things. Good. Alright. So I'm okay with what's going on here. I think we fixed that seed data. Just didn't think you needed a scope to get a scoped registered object. Yeah, you do. So that it knows how long to keep it around. So I've got somebody on, who's this? Paul on Twitter, right? When I made my announcement tweet that I'm starting streaming, Paul writes, "Oh boy, again? Why now? It's my bedtime." Sorry, Paul. This is when I stream. Cryosis asks, here's a kind of oddball question. Have your children ever asked you what you do for work and you've responded with, "I did this," and then proceeded to show them an application website you've worked on and is now published? Yes, I have. Except because I work for Microsoft. I said, "Yeah, you see that version of Windows you installed? I helped with tiny part of that around serving websites." I've also been able to point my kids to things like this stream, and YouTube, of course, where I have my videos archived, and I'm no Diamond Minecart Dan, right? I've also been able to show them my books, show them other things that I've built. They still think I'm the right. I'm Dad. I'm the guy that annoys them and wakes them up in the morning and tries to get them to go to school. I've taken my daughter to the local Microsoft Technology Center enough that she just thinks I work for Microsoft. Well, Chris, Space Shot, that's Chris. Only one of my daughters has been there, and she absolutely loved playing with the virtual reality stuff there. But what she was most excited about was the free apple juice. Honey, I've got apple juice at home. No, but it's in a can, Dad! Okay. Hey, whatever. To each their own. My older daughter, she's like, I don't care. So what? So, very nice employee let her try a HoloLens at the New York City store. Yes, that's a very, very nice employee let my daughter try. Yeah, she wanted to try a HoloLens, but was a little intimidated by it. Doesn't all apple juice come from cans? Asks Brave Cobra. No. All right. Let's take a little bit more of a look here. Now there is a way to do the file nesting inside of where is it? There is a nesting configuration. File nesting. Here we go. Look at this. So add solution settings. So you can. There's a way. There's a way to do this. Dependent file providers root. Yeah. Open, please. Customize file nesting and yeah. So here's file nesting options, standard settings, add custom settings. So it's this thingy here. Standard settings, default web, edit custom settings, remove custom settings. Okay, but if I click edit, it just opens this thing. How do I? Confused. Only works for some project types. Well, you know what? Let's take a look and see if there's something we're missing here. It's easier to start from web. Really? Now what? If I look down at data, it still isn't nesting these things. So how do I get those to nest? Applies the web file nesting provider to all projects in the current solution. No MERS rules. We encourage you to check it out. Blah, 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 blah. Customized file nesting. If you don't like what you get, to create a new custom setting, start with an empty file, or you can use the web setting as your starting point. It didn't even give me that option. We recommend you use the web, blah, blah, blah. If you use the web nesting... Alright, so hang on. Let's delete this file, because evidently I've confused it. Remove this. Right-click. Where was it? File nesting. I already deleted it. Or does it think it's still there on disk? Is it still there on disk? Open folder. It is. It's still there on disk. You make me sad. Alright, try this one more time. Right-click. File nesting. Now, standard settings. Add custom settings? Alright, template, web. I guess. Alright, now we're talking. If I go down here to data, it's still not nested quite right. And it's a solution thing. It says it's applied across the solution. Extension to extension, file suffix to extension. For example, having the same file name but a different extension is one type of rule. That's exactly what we're looking for here. Dear Lord. Path segment. No. Extension to extension. No. File to file. So this is when we're nesting Bower JSON under Bower RC. Well, no, we're nesting Bower RC under Bower JSON. Yeah. File suffix to extension. VS-doc gets nested under JS. So here we go. I want to nest .designer.cs under .cs. Make sense? Right? And that should to nest file.js under file.ts. No. File-vs-doc.js under file. Yeah, file suffix to extension. That's what I want. File suffix. Yeah. Yes. All right. Now, how does that work? File suffix to extension. Here we go. Every other aspect works the same way as handy. All right. So do I just go comma dot designer dot cs, and then do I go dot cs? Did that do something? It doesn't look like it did anything. Dash designer. I don't think so. Do I have to like reload or something? Might need to reload the project. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Oh, wait. That shouldn't be there. No, go away. Right, that looks like it should do something. So it's looking for file suffix, or is it extension to extension? Extension to extension lets you define a file nesting rules using specific file extensions. Yeah, I think it's extension to extension. So let's take this. Thank you. This one. Add. Oh boy. Ah, look. .designer.cs. Can I just go .cs? Did that do something? How do I apply? Right, I've updated the file. Right, if I right click and say file nesting, I did add solution setting. Where did my settings go? I must break you. Copy paste into there. Docs just said nesting button, didn't it? I know, right? It's so handy. Custom settings. This one. No, didn't do anything. Standard settings. Web. Didn't do anything. Custom settings. This one. So if I go here, right, extension to extension. Right, so if it sees... I think we need to raise a question here because this isn't really an example here that's friendly, and it's only supported in ASP.NET Core projects. Bummer. In which case, why am I configuring it at the solution level and not at the project level? Yeah. If it's only... And when it generated this file, yeah, that would have been handy. There's an extension you use. Hanselman doesn't write extensions. It's a lowercase d in Designer. Nope. This isn't an ASP.NET Core project. Automatically nest .designer files. Issue 2196. From Franklin. Let's see what we got there. Here, this, that. Whenever a .designer CS file is added to the project, it should automatically nest. This used to work in Xproj. Hey, thank you AM Codes for the follow. Functionality never made it to the new project system. This is important for EF Core since each migration adds 2 files. Yep. As a workaround, of course, is to add the following to your CS proj. Since I ended up here, a workaround for this is... I'm gonna grab that item group that Tarek is suggesting and copy that into my project and get rid of all this file nesting goo. Didn't I have... Nope. This. So let's get rid of file nesting. And I don't even see where it wrote the other file. Lame. And I'm gonna go into and let's do this. Compile, update. Now that feels good. Much better. There we go. Thomas DeWitt. Hey! Oh, interesting. You're doing refactoring. Me too. Oh, cool. Mads Christensen. There you go. Mads writes amazing extensions. He continues to. He's now the head of Visual Studio Extensions and the extensibility platform. Very cool stuff. Actually, and our friend Mads Christensen actually did a .NET Rocks episode recently. If you want to learn more about extensions with Mads Christensen, there you go. Visual Studio Extensions with Mads Christensen, episode 1560. There you go. I encourage you to check it out. Mads is a great guy. He's got some great things he's doing with Visual Studio Extensions. Check it out. You can learn more from Mads. All right, thanks for finding that link there, Franklin. Kudos to you. That makes it a hell of a lot easier to read what's going on. That looks like it moves files to other directories. It looks like it's not, right? Let's take a look back at that CS project file again. It's saying compile update, right? This is strictly it's saying we're going to compile, but it's dependent on, and it's copying, it's doing a string copy to indicate what these files are dependent on, and that's how Visual Studio knows to hide that stuff. What's the name of the that nesting extension you're looking for, that you're referencing? Is it just called file nesting? Extensions and updates. Online. File nesting. No. File nesting. From Mads Christensen. More information. There's even a demo video on Channel 9. Manually nest files, manually unnest files, auto nesting based on naming conventions. Yes! Due to missing or limited support for file nesting, blah, 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 blah. Alright, this looks like a better deal here. No, I don't want to do it that way. Bad idea. Let's install this. because I would rather not change how I compile just to get that to work. Yes, I have to click modify. Do your thing. Go, go, go. I think I still like the project level option as it would apply for all contributors. Extension is for my machine only. Yes. Where is it? Visual Studio. This one. All right. Anywhere that has free .NET hosting, I can't afford Azure. Azure actually does have a free hosting option. How much .NET are you hosting? There, you can host like 10 websites for free on Azure. Just small projects to learn. Yeah. The extension might be modifying the CS proj file. It could be. Could be. And it doesn't work with project reference projects, which is one like this. Package reference projects, you mean? All right. I won't go digging into it then for right now. Let's finish looking at... Let's come back around, and I want to take this little bit here. After copying the migrations folder to core wiki data, this is how we should be updating our database. So I'm actually going to write a command and put it into our... Right? This is going to need to be a backslash, I believe. Right? Let's write a command file out. Okay. Let's call this update db.command. Yep. Done. Now I feel better about that, so I don't have to go and remember all that nonsense. I'll add an existing item here. And now I've got it right there. I don't have to think about writing all that goo. Don't we migrate on run? Yes. Okay. Neat. All right. So everything should continue to build properly. All we did was move some things around here to simplify seed data. Cool. And if I run update db, right, that should... No project was found. This actually needs to be down living in the core wiki project. So if I go down there, and now do update. Cool, done. That works for me. What am I looking at here? Oh, that blue background. Yuck. It's still, oh. All right. Corrected seed data references and fixed nesting of migration files. Cool. All right, let's merge it up. And there it goes. Cool. Thanks so much for moving this. It feels like it's now residing in the proper location. All right. One check passed. Good. Right? Yeah. Okay. One more pull request, and this is the one. Ashley, it sounds like you're already down the path of where the startup class is starting to feel a little uncomfortable to me. There's a lot going on in there. 11 files changed. Do tell. Startup configuration extensions. Configure services through discovery. Build application through discovery. I'm not quite sure. Let's go back here. I'm fully expecting this to not get merged. That's gosh, that's a little passive there, isn't it?
It can be done exactly how I want it.
It will be.
The only question is,
yeah,
are you the man to do it?
I think we're the people to do it. Yes. It'll make more sense further down. All right, let's take a look, see a little bit further here. Configure database has a configure method and a configure services method in here. So these kind of line up. And it looks like we have a general did you? Okay. All right, I think I'm starting to see where you're going here, that this is, yeah. That this is extremely over-engineered. I configure startup, I configure service collection, I configure application builder. I think I see what you're doing here. So you've defined an interface so that we can have classes that each contain, here's the piece that I define for configure service collection and configuring the pipeline, so that, yeah, you're able to strip this all the way down. Fine, get my app settings out of configuration, configure services through discovery, right, and configure services through discovery. This actually, all right, this is interesting. So configure services through discovery, you're doing reflection to then look at all the assemblies loaded into the current app domain and find something that does I configure service collection and get all of those objects and call configure services on them. That's interesting. Oh, you're welcome, AM Codes. Honestly, if I wanted to get a lot done really fast, I wouldn't be explaining it. And that's why I like to describe what I'm doing here on Twitch with this live stream, and if you're watching on YouTube, I describe this as pair programming. I'm learning from you, and hopefully you're learning a little bit from me. Doing this discussion, I think is it's therapeutic. Yes, woo. And helps all of us to understand and grow a little bit. And I think, Ashley, this is I think this is a very interesting approach that you've taken here. Smab, I had some small things to PR once you finished some things off. The refactoring is similar to one of those, but Ashley got there first. Send it over, Smab. Let's take a look. It means we can actually have our configuration in separate DLLs and swappable configuration. Yes, that's the challenge that I think we're going to run into, though, is some sense of order. There are some things that do have to be configured in a sort of order. Smap, don't worry about spelling and grammar. This is the internet. My kids say to me, Dad, I don't need to learn spelling. Word or whatever word processor I use just gives me the red underline, and I can right click and put the right spelling in. You're kidding, right?
And you blow it.
You need to learn how to spell, kid. Feels bad. Cryosis says, what sort of skill level is expected to contribute to these projects? You know what, Cryosis? It doesn't matter to me what skill level you have. If there's something you feel comfortable about contributing, that's okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk through it. And we'll learn. We might over-engineer some things. But you know what? There might be a grain of knowledge in there that somebody picks up. It might be me. It might be somebody else in the chat room. It might be somebody on YouTube watching this later. It might be somebody who's just reading our source code to learn more about this and say, oh, wow, that's really cool. That can help me in Project X over here that I'm working on. So, let me know. Joe Bunn says he's heard the same from his daughter. Yes. Sounds like a Twilight Zone episode. The day the autocorrect died. In a world where everybody relies on autocorrect, one day the red line just stopped showing up. No! But Dad, I don't know how to spell. You're just gonna have to learn, kid. Actually, Ashley, I'm more than happy to do voiceovers for folks that are interested, that may want voiceovers. I did. Where is it? I actually did for our friend Suze Hinton for Noopcat. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. I recorded. Don't open it with that. That's a terrible one. I did. Let's see if we can get this to play. Go back over here. Pause that for a second. I did this previously on Noopcat. Right? It's like, okay, cool. And our friend Fierce Kittens, I think she's in the chat room. She made reference the other night to, last time on the stream we did blah 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 blah. So I said, you know what, we'll do one for her. On Fierce Kittens. And it's like, that's easy to do. That's like 2 minutes for me to put together. So why not? If somebody's interested, I'm more than happy to do a recording, put out there. Crumbs, that's where this comes from. World exclusive. Hey, wow. You can get your own copy. I've submitted to narrate audiobooks. The folks at Audible weren't interested. Cryosis, you plan to start a streaming programming and development soon. Contributing to stuff like this would be cool. That's great. Let me know if you have any questions. There's a couple blog posts out there you can check out that'll help you get started with this. I'm always looking for other developers to encourage who are interested in participating in streaming. It's very much like podcasting in that you're going to need to develop a pace that you're going to work at, and you're going to need to do it on a regular basis if you want to build up viewership. But if you've got some good content out there, we'll syndicate other developers over to the Visual Studio channel. But we need to make sure that, there are certain guidelines that we're setting up that we want to make sure folks adhere to appear on that channel as well. Put them in a GitHub repo. There's a couple things we could do with them. GitHub repo, several different places, I guess. I seem to remember there is an attribute you can slap on a class, to have it auto-magically be part of the startup configuration. Yes, you can actually name a class startup.development or startup. And it'll automatically find it and load it. The challenge that we're going to run into with this type of thing is there is, particularly for the application builder, when you're building the pipeline, you do need some things built in a specific order. So I do notice, and Ashley, I really like this concept that you've brought to us, because one of the refactorings I was going to do was to take all of these notification capabilities and shove them over into a notification project. And then, right, we have the ability to load all of those things isolated over there. And, yeah, then it becomes a little bit easier to manage and see them all in one place. And also unit test as well. Get them out of here directly. MEF. Oh, MEF is the Managed Extensibility Framework. And the, I don't think we call him that anymore, but the former MEF dealer, because he was the head of the MEF project, Glenn Block, is going to join us here on stream in the next few weeks. I was talking to Glenn about it. I showed him a couple things about how we run the stream here, and he was really excited about what we could do on stream together. I'm a CS student that does IT support and sysadmin. I might be able to bring some stuff from both those realms. Cool. All right. In your startup, you want to be explicit. You can refactor out, of course, but still be explicit in the declaration. Yes. This is where you control how your application behaves. Loot the composition root pattern. Loot? Loot it? Fair? Fair? What is that? What do you mean loot it? Do you mean like, yes. Okay. I'm not going to take this. I'm going to leave this out here. This is, I really like this idea. I'm going to leave this out here, and let's think about this a little bit more and see how we can refactor it, because, yeah, I definitely think there's something we can do here. I should read that in Darth Vader's tone, shouldn't I? C-17. I should totally get that. But if I were to play the Star Wars music behind me, I will get a copyright strike from YouTube. So I can't quite do that. You want to group by functionality, not by signature. Yes, you do want to group by functionality, and I think that's what we're seeing here. Some of these things are grouped by functionality, right? So this is security and authentication. All of these things are grouped together. But what's important is that these things get grouped, and they need to fire in an order before. I'm looking for something else here. Like use static files, right? The order in which security happens versus the static files happens could be the difference between me requiring authentication for static files and not. Darth Hype. All right. Loot. I am your father. No? Let me know. I want to leave this here. I like this idea. I think we need to tune it a little bit more to make sure maybe there's a dependency construct we need to have so that we can structure these appropriately. Yeah, I think there's something, it's almost there. I think we're, yeah, it's something with iHosting startup. iHosting startup represents platform-specific configuration that will be applied to the iWebhost builder. So this happens. Yeah. This happens before startup is called, if I understand that correctly. Enhance an app with an external assembly with iHosting startup. Discover loaded hosting startup assemblies. Yeah. Disable automatic loading of hosting startup assemblies. Oh, wait a sec. This is a page model. Fair? Oh, it's just displaying it. Okay. Implement. Create the assembly. Yeah. Hosting startup. Yeah. And it has its own configure method with an iWebhost builder. Yeah. As a base to work off of, it's pretty good. Oh! Thank you. Update the dependencies file. Yeah. Enhancement activation. Oh, dear Lord. No. As soon as I start to see, well, you gotta update and put this somewhere out there. Dear Lord. Hosting startup assemblies. This is too much engineering to have something automatically load. But I do like this approach. But there are things, there are features that are interdependent on each other. Is that a word, interdependent? I think so. And we will want to load those in the correct order. Let's talk about this further, and there's definitely a future for this. I spelled definitely wrong. Look, I'm going to do like my daughter does. There we go, I fixed it, Dad. A future for this feature. I like it. Save GitHub. Okay. Reflection will only applies to the loaded assemblies. Yes. So if you wanted to load from assemblies that weren't loaded, directly referenced, right? If you just put the DLL down in the folder. We'll also order alphabetically. Yeah, there's another thing there. Interdependent. Adjective, dependent on each other. We in Europe are all increasingly interdependent. Okay, now you've got me thinking I need to put a feature into the Fritz bot that's in the chat room that will define things for us. If we say bang define, right? Exclamation point define, right? Something like. And it'll go out to a dictionary API and put the definition into the chat room. That would be fun. Fritz glossary, there you go. Order should not matter as long as the configuration is done in sections, or am I missing anything? When it's configuring the pipeline, the HTTP pipeline, right? That the configure method, not configure services, the configure method, order does matter. Okay. So I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to actually get into the refactoring. Here's where MEF will help. I don't think MEF works with .NET Core, does it? Yeah. All right. Let's go back over here. Right, do I have the latest everything? Right, did I do anything? Okay, good. Because of the whole MVC would be in one section. Yes. MVC would be in one section. However, the order that where you place authentication will determine what things after it are eligible to be authenticated. If you put authentication at the wrong place, it won't be available. I kept MVC stuff in the startup class. Yes. Using MEF in .NET Core. MEF is old school to give you headaches on .NET Core. And you don't want to take the blue MEF from this guy.
It can be done exactly how I want it. The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Of course I am. No, you mean this. Auth needs to be part of the MVC section. Well, you're also... I can buy a certain amount of that can be done for the configure method. Configure services, I think for, oh man, I think, and right, to be clear, this is insane how big this is. I completely agree. This is crazy big. When we look up here for configure services, these can appear in pretty much any order, right? It's just the things that they depend on need to be configured before them. So I'm pretty okay with this firing in pretty much any order. Priority or number needs to be assigned to each section, yes. Or a way to say this section is dependent on that section so that we can figure out the ordering. Math. Okay. Will, you've gone into like acronym overload in that one. Cobra, do you mean math? As far as I know, math should be current. I mean, whew. Last one wins. Yes, last one does win. But for the most part, this could be chucked out and done in its own order. All right. Let's start refactoring a little bit here, and let's introduce a couple more unit tests. And in particular, I'm going to go after the notification pieces here. This is really cool. This is a great piece of functionality to allow us to pull apart the way that our messages are built, and it's not even article search engine. That's something else. Template provider, template parser, email message formatter, email notifier, and the notification service. These 5 are pretty good. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to make these things a little bit more testable, and have them all live outside somewhere else so that I don't push SendGrid, my email service. So I'm not pushing that around my applications here. Right? It's the same thing that we were talking about with Entity Framework, where our database structure that abstraction was leaking into our MVC pages, our Razor pages. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to create a Core Wiki notifications project and move these things into that. Make sense? And then we can start building tests on that. And I think I'm going to need, and it's going to sound stupid, a corewiki.core project to put these interfaces into. And that sounds like a stupid name. Corewiki.core. It's like corewiki.core.base. Yeah. So let's start a little refactoring here. Corewiki.domain. That's not bad. I need a class library, and I don't want to create a class library. I want to create a .NET standard library. What do you think of corewiki.domain? Does that work, chat room? Before I create this, I want to make sure that I've got a little bit of a consensus on the name of the .NET standard library. Oh, miscellaneous is terrible. That's the DDD standard. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm used to calling that base project that has all of these. Project.interfaces. Yeah, I'm going to have the interfaces in here, but there might be other things that are shared across projects. So .core, .base is what I would lean towards, but corewiki.core feels weird. On the other hand, most people use .core, so you know, yeah, let's use .core. And then we'll be able to start bringing some of these out. I just blanked out looking at other things. Dude. Come on back. Mainly some low-level C code. Okay. Dude. corewiki.nucleus. Then I would need like a corewiki.electron. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right, let's get rid of this. And then I'm going to take our data library. And I think I want to take our interfaces here and move those over. Let's come back to that one. I want to find these ones, like iTemplate provider. You're not going to show me where this is over here? It's under services. There we go. So let's grab these. And I'm going to create a services folder here. No. Notifications. And paste it into there. Email message, email notifier, notification service, template parser, template provider. Yeah. All right. And let's change this from that to core.notifications. And I think that makes more sense. And that's that. Now, one of these, here we go. Author, article, comment, comment. So now we have these objects that it doesn't know about. Domain is never dependent on other things, right? I believe so, yes. I usually have an application, domain, persistence, and UI package. There you go. Yeah. It's meant to be a POCO library. That's correct. But the iNotification service, notify author of a new comment. It's receiving. Yes, hexagonal layout. Yes. So, Right, so here's... right, if these are now my domain objects... Right, I have a user, an article, and a comment. Are these either interfaces? Or do I create the actual domain objects here inside my core project? And these very database-centric objects move somewhere else. None of these take an iNotification service. Yeah. Let me move... I'm going to move this back over into services for right now. Just so I don't break too much at once. Let's minimize the collateral damage here. But... yeah, these things, it doesn't know where they're coming from yet. You pass a domain event instead of actual domain objects. You're getting into a CQRS type of architecture. Not quite there yet, and I want to save that discussion for when we have Jimmy Bogard join us and Julie Lerman. So I don't want to refactor too far in that direction just yet. It's coming, but not just yet. I'm going to add a reference to that core project here. Add reference. Yup. And now I should be able to control dot on this. Cool. I thought this was iNotification service. Yeah. Change this back to services. And That should still work. Good. All right. Jimmy Bogart is an authority on the subject and one of your heroes. Cool. All right. They'll be happy to hear that. Okay. So I've moved out those interfaces. They're now being referenced. Let's control dot on this. Come on. Still doesn't like that. Why not? There is no implicit conversion because these ones need to be updated yet. All right. Same thing here. Come on. Oh. It's this one. There it goes. All right. Those all went away. Good. Next step. So I have all my notifications interfaces over here in this core project. Let's add a notifications project and move these objects over there, except for notification service, because that one's still pretty tightly coupled in. So let's add new project, .NET Standard, CoreWiki notifications. All right, we'll get rid of that. Yup. Notifications is moving towards its own microservice. Not towards it could become a microservice. It could, but I'm moving it into its own project so that it can be managed separately and so that it can change independently of our web user interface. Right? Because really the notifications as a service are they're not dependent on any of the web user interface. Hey, there's spacebar is a defect. Hello, hello. All right, so let's add the reference from here back to core. And I'm going to grab all of these except for the notification services and move them down here into notifications, which is just above my head there. And let's change these from services to no. I can type notifications. Cool. Now, why didn't that? No. template provider. I thought we moved that. This should be core notifications. There it goes. Cool. All right. Let's move that back up so you can see above my melon here. Change this to, yep. Now we still need to get SendGrid into the mixer. That's okay, we're gonna get there. Change this one. And that one. All right. Now, template provider, there we go. hosting environment is an ASP.NET Core hosting abstraction. Okay. Read all text async. The file object in .NET Core might not have that. Hey, thanks for the C# bot. I know that from the name this is meant to be some sort of wiki. Yes. Can you expand upon the functionality of the overall application? It is intended to become a wiki, to be a content management system. So that folks can log in and update various articles, write content, and maintain that content. And there's a history feature in there now, so it'll track the history of changes, and you're able to create get a difference reported to you of the changes between those files. You know what? I don't think I'm going to run into an issue here with this being .NET Standard instead of .NET Core, being able to read all text, right? Because I don't think .NET Standard has... Oh no, it doesn't have an async on that. So that's where I'm intending to go here, Cryosis. And we've been slowly growing. We've been adding new features each week. Integrated version control, yes. Is there I think you mean a constraint on the content? No, we need to... It's... Right, this is a package that anybody could deploy and run and host whatever they would like as their content. So, right now, there is no constraint. We'll see how it grows. You know, maybe we do add workflowing in there so that type of thing. But right, this is just a base package that anybody could deploy and do whatever they like with. You know, it's free for anybody to go grab. But the value for us here on this stream is we're learning how to build this. We're learning some of these steps, some of these architecture concerns as we go along here. I think that's actually an eventual goal, Cryosis, that this will be something that we would host and I'll allow folks to post on. Yep. But the source code, the application will be available if anybody wanted to host their own wiki about whatever, you know, their favorite cheeses. Cheese. Whatever. Yeah, this isn't going to work because we're not .NET Core on this project. So let's change this project from .NET Standard. Yeah, I'm in a .NET Standard model here. Cheese Wiki, there you go. See, that's a thing. Provolone. I'm a big fan of provolone. I'm working on changing this to use Razor for the templating. I've got a working version. I'm currently refactoring, so no PR yet, but don't worry too much about moving all this. Oh, thank you, Erwin. And hopefully, with how I'm moving it, you should be able to just reattach and put it into that this notification-specific project without impacting things. Yeah, I'm going to have to modify the CS proj. You're absolutely right. To change this over, where is it? Edit the project file. So instead of target framework being Net Standard 2.0, we will change it to... is it Netcore App 2.1? Do I have that right? I think that's what I want. Let me double check over here. Hey, look at that. Netcore App 2.1. It's like I planned it that way. And that should work, right? So now if I go back and look at here. Haha, that worked. All right. So, you're on dev currently. Good. All right. Do you have much say in how the documentation looks for C# and other respective Microsoft languages and platforms? The web pages are way too cluttered. I have some discussion with the folks on the documentation team. Sometimes you'll see some of those folks from the docs team hanging out here in my chat room. If you have questions about it, if you have concerns, you have feedback, they're very open to taking that feedback on their GitHub repository. But if you'd like to discuss it here, you're welcome to comment on it. And we'll have a pointer back to folks so we can show them, you know, what your question is. A good idea to git stash pull from upstream, dev, git pop, and merge your changes before submitting. There were line breaks in there. I know, it was like, there's a thing there. Git stash, pull from upstream, git pop. Yep, I'm familiar with that. Okay, so I've got my notification stuff moved over here, and I think the last piece that I want to do is I want to take this and move it to its own startup extension not data, wrong one. Inside of notifications. So let's add another class. Startup extensions. And we'll make this a public static class. Public static. And we're on services here, right? And services is an iService collection. iService collection. Add email notifications, let's say. This iService collection, I use this statement, this keyword here, to make this an extension method, so that it extends, it enhances the iService collection object. Now it's telling me it doesn't have a way for me to get that iService collection. That's interesting. I should be able to get that. Right? No. Alright, let's go figure out where iService collection is. I believe it's in dependency injection. So let's manage NuGet packages here. Nope. Oh, you know what I can do? You know what I can do? That's the wrong source. Let's do this. Ooh. Ooh, I got an idea. I've got an idea. Let's search for dependency injection because I believe I'm in the wrong package source. Still can't find it. Are you kidding me? No. All right. Feels bad, man. Somewhere under here is dependency injection. Configuration. There it is. Microsoft extensions dependency injection dot abstractions. See it right there? That's the one that I want. That's the one that I want. All right. Can I copy that? No. All right. Fine. And it won't. No. Manage NuGet packages. And it was Microsoft extensions. That's not how you spell Microsoft. Extensions. Dependency injection. Find that first. Haha! Alright. Dot abstractions. Yes. I'll take one of those. And show me the money. Got my using statement. Okay. That was only mostly painful. Alright, from the startup class, right, I was grabbing these and copying them in so that, yes. Good. Return services. Alright. And now I should be able to control dot on that thing and get my notifications. The last one there I cannot do because those still live in the web project. Not a problem. Oh, Fierce Kittens left. Goodbye. Bummer. Let's close some of these, and this, and that, those. Alright, back to startup. So, this one I still need to leave here, but these ones, I should be able to say services, add, email, notifications. If I control dot. Yeah. All right. So now they're all moved out. Oh my gosh, here. Off. I'm on installed. Oh, I was on the wrong one. Just Mike asks, how can I learn coding for free? I am off the night. Got work in 8 hours. All right. Take care, Griosis. YouTube is nice. I was on the wrong tab. Nuts. With that, free programs also. Yep. Most compilers are free. Yep. .NET is completely free for you, actually. Any text editor and a command prompt will do well. Dependency injection. Yes. No, so if you're interested in getting started with .NET, go to just dot.net, and you can get free compilers for C#, Visual Basic, and F#. You can get your hands on Visual Studio Code free. That'll work with anywhere. If you're on Windows, you can download Visual Studio 2017 Community Edition, and that'll get you up and running. You can download the Xamarin frameworks so you can build apps for mobile devices. They're completely free and available to you. But all the development kits for .NET Core 2.1, completely free and available to you. Check it out. And of course, visualstudio.com, you can get the full IDE community is completely free for you to download and use. Visual Studio Code, completely free for you to download and use on Windows, Mac, or Linux. Try .net. I know it sounds like Morse code. All right. So we've refactored out the notifications. So we've got this thing over here. Who uses Visual Studio? I use Vim. Nice. I used to use Vim to write VB script code. Actually, I didn't use Vim. I used VI. Love VI. All right, I can start writing. Can I? No, I can't. My notifications isn't going to complete. Where did I leave? I thought I had a send grid error in here somewhere. Let me just make sure that we can build here. Right? Build? There, it's building. Yeah, look at this. Look at all those problems. So I'm here in email notifier, which is right here. Email notifications. What is email notifications? Email notifications. This is a configuration. No. Okay. Not completely terrible. I'm going to move this into the core project as well under configuration. And actually, I think we can move this. This is the only class in here, the only file in here. Let's move this whole thing over there, because these are all just Pocos. Yeah. Let's move these all over there. World Cup final game this weekend. Yeah. Oh, I feel terrible for all the folks in England who were so confident about the match yesterday, and our friends in Croatia. Best of luck to you against the French. I'll call it class 1 for right now, because I'm just gonna nuke it. corewiki.core.configuration. And I'm gonna just move these out into their own file. Move type to app settings. Yep, app settings CS. We'll do the same thing with this. We'll do that with our connection strings. Sure. Right, and I mean, this is a little bit of yak shaving here, but it's going to make managing these things a little bit easier. What? No. Now, why won't it let me rename the file? That would have been the right thing to do. There we go. So now all of my configuration is available across all of my CoreWiki projects. That's pretty cool. That's going to be a lot easier to deal with. So now I should be able to control dot and I get my configuration. iLogger, I don't want it on the code generation utils. There's another logger abstraction out there that we want to include. We're also referencing SendGrid here. You never heard the term yak shaving until you started watching this stream, and now I've heard it several times in different YouTube videos. Were they all mine? The Thai kids football team rescue operation could have ended badly, but the rescue divers got out just in time. It was great to see that they were able to help those kids. Can't be happier that I cannot be happier that happened. That's terrific that they were able to help those kids. I'm going to end up moving all of my SendGrid configuration into this project as well. But I want to come back over here. Let's make sure. Is this referencing any of that configuration? Nope, that's good too. All right. So my email notifier here that actually has the SendGrid stuff, we need to bring the SendGrid capabilities over here instead of in the LM Orchard. That's great. Yes, yak shaving. It's a terrible process to have to go through. I need to bring the SendGrid reference into notifications instead of in CoreWiki. And that way, once again, I'm hiding that reference to our provider. All right, so here's notifications. Let's edit that. So now, all the SendGrid references light up so much better. Now I still had a reference to iConfiguration and iLogger Factory, and there's an abstraction that I should have there. Where is it? Manage NuGet packages. I'm on browse. All right. Is it Microsoft dot? Is it extensions logging? Oh, I hate this. It's like logging.abstractions. This one. There we go. That's what I want. Yep. And it's also configuration abstractions. Look at that DNX version. Oh dear Lord. This one. That's the one I want. Yup. VS Live Share is one of those tech. One of what tech? And all those. What do we got here? iConfiguration section does not contain a definition for get. Yes, it does. Oh, you know what? I might need full configuration on this. That's not too bad. Let's change that. Oh, you know what would be easier way to do this? Instead of to juggle that, let's just edit the project. And just get rid of this. Haha! VS Live Share helps for blind people to pair program with seeing people. That's, yeah, okay. I can buy that. Hang on. Get section gets an iConfiguration section. Isn't email notifications like, behold the shaven yak. Okay. Right, can't we do this, isn't it, can't we do a get section like that? Come here, give me that complete, give me that autocomplete. I thought there was a... Right, and once we have that... Go away there, Karnak. Goodbye, go, shoot. I thought there was a way to turn that into... If you can't understand the blind assistance audio feed when you... Yep. It's in Microsoft Extensions configuration. I've got it. I've got extensions configuration right there. And I updated this to Microsoft Extensions configuration. Yeah. What? Oh, hang on, get rid of this. You need an eye options email notifications injected in your core wiki notification. Where is it saying? Core wiki. This should be corewiki.core.configuration. Assembly is Microsoft Extensions configuration.binder. That should be here, right? That's interesting. That's interesting. Let me go back up to... Where was it? No. Right, I can't control dot and get that. Is that another one? Is that another NuGet package I can grab? Let's manage NuGet packages. Microsoft Extensions configuration. Binder. Alrighty. Wouldn't you know? Good catch. Thank you. All right. You need an iOptions email notification. That would be better than doing this nonsense. Right. So, if I were to go here, right, how we do these add scoped, if we did services dot, oh, see, I can't do, I should be able to do services configure, right? Yeah, services.configure. It's an iServices collection. Right, that's exactly what I want to do. Like that. Now, what doesn't I like about it? The last link shows. Right, I've done this with configuration, but I've moved into another project. Yeah. I options, yes, I know how to receive that, but I need to configure it. New configuration builder, yep, we've already got that. Don't need that, don't need that, still don't need that. Services configure, configuration get section. That's what I want to put in there. So that I can do that. But that doesn't work. Right, I'm missing something. Microsoft Extensions Options Configuration Extension. Is that, did they put that in another NuGet package? Okay. I'm guessing I need to bring in all of options, because I'm going to need it. Right when I'm over here. Are you kidding? No. 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 Packages for days. I know. Seeing the downside of extension methods. Yes. I have to chase all these extension methods in the different assemblies. Hang on. Go back over here. Right. And it's passing in the full configuration object. I mean, I guess, right? ReSharper helps with locating those extension methods. Okay. Well, wait, hang on. App settings already has email notifications in it. So I don't need to do that. Let's go back over. I tell you. I don't need to take in iConfiguration. I can take in iOptions, app settings, and my configuration. Come here, you. Is going to be app settings dot value dot F21. I don't have an F21. You want me to take an iOptions snapshot. I know why you want me to take an iOptions snapshot. That way, if there's a change, it'll reload. Yeah. Meetings and Bluetooth headset failures. What did I miss? Nothing. While running, yeah, it'll reload the configuration. But that's better. Now I'm not monkeying through my configuration object, through the entire configuration object here in this class. All right, let's try and build again. And build succeeded. All right. Do you need all those NuGet packages anymore? Shut up. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I think I need no, I don't need configuration. I might not need these. Wait a sec. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Oh, crap. Alright. In for a penny, in for a pound now. Or something like that. Cleanup time. I know. Alright, we're still good. Yeah, I think we're alright. Okay. So, I've got everything compiling. I've got most of my notification configuration for at least building the email notifier is out here. The iNotification service that says notify author of new comment. It's still living inside of the web project. There's a little bit here that needs to be disconnected. I'm okay with it being over there. I only need the abstraction part. Yeah, I've got dependency injection, abstractions. So, you know what? I don't think I need that one either. Right? I think I'm good. Options, I should. Yep. I'm okay. I don't think there's an option extension. Options, is there an options abstraction? Options, yeah, it's the options DLL is here. I don't see it depending on an options. No, that comes out of extensions options, options snapshot. So, we're okay there. But what we can do now, and I'm not going to be able to do it today because I'm just about out of time, is we can now start testing notifications. I'd like, when I right-click on there, to be able to say other projects to reference. Add, reference, this one and that one. Go away, yellow triangles. Go. Shoo. Lots and lots of building. Cool. Succeeded, but I've still got yellow triangles. Alright. So now we can... no, they're still there. I've still got yellow triangles. So, found conflicts between different versions of abstractions and features. Oh, that's going to be a treat. No, this is going to be... You know what? I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to commit these changes. Now, stop it. You've seen the projects go away on it. The suggestion is do a consolidate on. No packages found to consolidate. Are you kidding? ASP.NET Core App 212. There was a security patch that was issued this week. It's on the WCF client and how it interacts with the certificates. That's wonderful. I'm going to commit what I have here right now. All right, let's look at the files. And, oh, dear Lord, that red is terrible. That's better. That looks a lot better. So let's add everything. Refactored notifications to their own project. Cool. You want me to refactor out the notifications part? You're gonna have to do something with those. You're gonna have to do something with those domain objects that are currently referenced in there. We're either gonna need to create domain objects and start passing the domain objects around, which I think is going to be a several-step process we're gonna have to deal with. You're welcome to take a shot at it, Brave Cobra. Certainly. But I think we've made some good progress here today. We didn't write any unit tests, but we refactored out our notifications so they're in a place that's much more maintainable. It's in a location that we can really work with. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. The couple of pull requests we got, they're really great. They're going to get us moving in the right direction. I love what Ashley suggested there with how to refactor and manage the items in the startup class that are related back and forth between configure services and configure. I think there's something we can learn there, and it needs just a little bit more for us to get a complete solution there. Yes, we need to start unit testing a little bit further, and now that we have the notifications pushed out into their own project and abstractly referenced and completely over there, I think we now have a model where we can begin to test that a little bit more aggressively. So I'd like to start building some unit tests over there, and I might do that offline and just share what I've completed there. Is there a way to contact me? Maybe email. You can email me at I am Jeff at jeffreyfritz.com. Need more followers for the Rainbow Goatee? Yes, Ashley. So we are doing this. This is a thing. We have 2,750 followers right now. If we get to 5,000 by the middle of October, for the Halloween week episodes, I will dye my goatee rainbow colored. Also, there were some requests about this, about a Works on My Machine sticker. If you're interested, I did set up a storefront at Redbubble. It doesn't have the hat. Hat's a cool idea, but I don't have that. But if you go to redbubble.com, you can order a mug. There's stickers there, a couple other things, with the blue version of the logo. There you go. So check that out if you're interested. Can I do a small clip at some point where I read my GPG fingerprint for additional proof? Okay, stop it. That's just wrong. But I should do a GPG key at some point here, just to make sure that it's a little bit so that my commits are verified. All right, thanks so much everybody for joining. We should do a raid here before we clear out of here. We should do a raid. Is there another programming streamer here? What do you got there? I did put my key in Keybase, yes. And I do have that key. Yep, that's me, and that is my key. But I need to start attaching it to my, what's it called? Start attaching it to my commits. Shouldn't be too hard to do. So, all right. Who's out there in the programming community that we can attach to? I see a couple folks. Come on, it was good to raid. Oh, load here, Twitch. Load, load, load. Let's see. Clark.io has a rerun going. I don't want to send you to a rerun. That feels bad. Get good at C++. That sounds bad, too. Embedded electronics. Who's this? Loki Development Hidden Services. What's this? Brutal Sweet. Oh, thanks for the Kappa. Coming in hot. Yes, we are. Hidden Service Implementation. No. Not a fan of what's going on there. But I think I did see Kit started. Right? Yep, Kit Boga started. If you're not familiar with Kit Boga calls scammers. Alright, catch you later, Ashley. And uses .NET applications inside of a VM to trick phone scammers. It's kind of entertaining to watch. So let's right, and am I right? Dev chatter isn't on yet? Come on. No, dev chatter's not on just yet. Yeah, let's go over to Kit Boga. So I am going to raid over there. If you're interested in watching, it's a lot of fun. Yep, it is intended for mature audiences because some of the scammers will say some nasty things. But it's using .NET, using Windows technology to pick on scammers. So that's all the time I have for today. I hope you enjoyed joining me. And we will see you next time. That'll be tomorrow for F-Sharp Friday. And I hope you join me next Friday for our architecture workshop. I'll have more details posted later today, hopefully.